On spring 2017, something's happened altogether. Um, my lawnmower broke up, and my greengrocer started selling plants at cheap prices, and it was too hot to go trail running. So I decided it was time to rethink the shape of this garden, which was just a green lawn with some plants, which you will see later, and think to a different garden with much more colors, much more plants, much more shapes. So I started selling plants. I started buying plants from my greengrocer, and now I'll show you what this garden is after 15 months. So let's start. And the name of the plants are in Italian. This is a basso. These are roses. This is an oleandro. This is a magnolia. These are azalea. And these are roses and azalea. And this is a calicanthus, which is here for many years. And azalea, roses, camellia, erica, azalea, erica. This is an agave and erica. We call these fiori di carta, paper flowers. And that is an aucuba, and these are anemone. And this is an eucalyptus. This is solanum. These are gardenia. This is a spathiphyllum plant which is eaten up by snails. These are named dipsis. Yes. These are gardenia. And this is a lilla. And this is a mega tree, fig tree. And these are Calanthea plants. And this is a Dieffenbachia, gardenia. These are named Ctenanthe. This is a Calla. These are Aspidistra plants. This is an Aralia. And all this stuff will have to be recovered in autumn because they can't survive the winter. Let's see. This is a cat. And these are Hebe plants which I have to plant in the ground. This is called Cosmos. These are Hortensia which I have to plant. These are Solanum plants. We call this Garofani. And this is a Calanthea. These are Philodendri plants. And we call these Spina di Cristo, Thorns of Christ, and roses. These tomatoes grew up by themselves from the compost, and these are roses and roses and roses. And this was just a green lawn, and now you see it is much more different. Now we'll see. These are azalea. These are bougainville, camellia, rose, bougainville. And what we have here? Hortensia and garofani. Okay. And mimosa tree. I planted 32 mimosa trees in this garden, but I don't know if they will survive the winter. Roses, 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 and roses, and roses, and dahlia, and peach tree, cherry tree, apricot tree, peach tree, and cherry tree. This is called platycodon, and this is a platycodon field, and it survived the winter. And then there is an old apple tree. So, and here we have a row of about 50 roses, and here we have azalea, rose, azalea, azalea, azalea. This is called hebe, hebe, magnolia, camellia, camellia, and what else? Rose. These three, we call them khaki. I think in English you call them persimmon or something like this. And then let's see. Azalea, rose, peach. So row of azalea, 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 hidden by the weed, and then here we have Iberis plants which should bloom in winter, and then another persimmon tree, and then Avegas, roses, 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 and raspberry, mimosa tree, an olive tree which is struggling to survive, azalea, azalea, peach, and we call this lavender, azalea, roses. Okay, we call this ipomea. Okay, and then we call this calle, and these are called ardisia. They make red berries in winter. This is an cherry tree. Roses. These two make red berries in winter. They are called Gaulteria. And this is an apricot. And this is one of the failures. These were plumbago plants. They all died this winter. And here we have another 50 rose plants. Hebe, azalea, mimose, oleandro. These are kind of daisies which make yellow flowers. This is a ginestra. This is a kind of palm. And roses, lavanda, daisies of some kind, a magnolia, azalea, kind of daisies, a small oleandro, azalea, lavanda, daisies. Okay, here we have the Libero in the shadow. This should make flowers in winter. And this one too, they should make red berries in winter. And here we have lavanda, oleandro, garofani, 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 and garofani. These are banana plants which grow up every spring. This is a Calicanthus tree. And here we have hortensia and rose and rose and rose. This is called dissopo. Rose, boss, rose, rose, hortensia, rose, boss, hortensia, which need water, rose, which need water, boss, rose, mimosa trees. This is called solanum. This is an oleandro. This is a jasmine hedge. This is an hibisco hedge. This is another failure that didn't pass the winter. This is another failure that didn't pass the winter. This is the laurel hedge, which hides from the outside. And hibiscus, rose, rose. We call this salvia. We call this succulente plants. We call this salvia. A camellia field. There are about 15 camellia. Salvia. Salvia. The hibiscus hedge. Jasmine. Jasmine. An hortensia bush. Azalea, rose, azalea, rose, rose. A lilla plant, a cherry tree. Roses and roses and roses and roses. And kind of sedum plants, some garofani, and bougainville, a jasmine hedge. Let's see what's behind. Lavanda and jasmine, mimosa, yellow daisies, roses, mimosa, roses, mimosa, and a peach tree which grew up by itself from a nut. I did nothing, and it has a peach on. And roses, and that's all. So you see that you can change a green lawn into something else if you like, if you want. It takes a lot of work, it takes some money, but not that much. It takes